And a welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. Appreciate you being here and appreciate your patience here this morning inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios. We are hanging out where sports meets life. Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. They are so easy to get to from so many avenues, from Onondaga Lake Parkway, the highway, the thruway, coming out of the city. Make sure you make your way over to Great Lakes Honda City today. They are open Monday through Saturday for sales and service, and you can get a sneak peek of all they have to offer by going to GreatLakesHondaCity.com. With that being said, we want to thank everybody that's tuning in up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Appreciate you for being here on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com, our internet streaming radio. So wherever you are, thank you for being with us. And however you're watching and listening, we appreciate y'all so very much. So with that being said, it is a Friday, which means that we have our topics that we bring to you every single Friday, starting with the Annoying Moment of the Week, a special segment here. The Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by the fantastic team at Carvel DeWitt. So happy to bring you the Annoying Moment of the Week today inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin'. So the Annoying Moment of the Week from Carvel DeWitt will start things off. My Annoying Moment of the Week was taken care of at the beginning of the week on Sunday. So I'm happy to be here to bring it to you today. Lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. Proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero. This acronym brings you our faith and our wisdom and knowledge and conversation about a bunch of different topics. Today's topic is let God lead. So going right back to the word lead that we have here. And of course, many thanks to the wonderful team at Chick-fil-A Cicero, led by the fearless Jimmer Sikowski. So a lot of great stuff coming up here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. And of course, we're going to round out today's show by having my good buddy back on the broadcast. Cannot wait to have this gentleman here with us, and that is Nate Hackett. Nate Hackett going to be joining us here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. Can't wait to share some time with Big Nate coming up here momentarily on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time. So in about an hour from now, he'll be with us. And so I said momentarily. I know what I meant. So he'll be up with us at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time. Excited to have him join us on the show here in just a little while, where sports meets life. So big ups to Mr. Nate Hackett, longtime college football and NFL coach. So with that being said, we're going to start things off with the annoying moment of the week. And the annoying moment of the week this week, we're going to start things here with the conversation about customer service. And unfortunately, folks, customer service is not what it used to be. And dealing with the customer service in today's world, it is not all it's cracked up to be, and it definitely is something that I shouldn't even say it's not all it's cracked up to be, because it's, I mean, we think so much less of it now. We expect you to give bad customer service. And see, this thing goes back farther than simply just now. It goes to what kids were being taught or not being taught. It goes to COVID times. I mean, you got to look at the parents and you got to say to yourself, what were you teaching these kids? How were you developing these kids? Were you developing these kids at all? The future of today? Because there's some great kids, and there's some other kids where you scratch your head and say, what the heck happened? Why are these kids the way that they are? Why don't people care about working? And it's not even kids, it's adults too. But as we train the future and we look at where we are right now in the present, some of this has to do with lack of parenting, lack of educating, lack of responsibility. And on top of that, COVID. Speaking of lack of responsibility, stay home, don't work, we'll hand you money. And I kept saying, I said to my parents, I said to other people throughout that whole process, I said, this position that we're in right now in the country, with the government telling people to stay home and you don't have to work. And even when you could go back to work, well, you don't have to go back to work. You don't really need to do anything with your life. You could just sit there and we'll hand you money. That was going to create a society where people were not going to want to go to work, because why would you want to go to work after you didn't have to go to work? Why would you all of a sudden go, you know what? I've made all this money home by myself doing absolutely nothing. Let me go to work and earn it now. If you didn't have to earn it before, why would you want to earn it now? And that's the thing that I'm like, were people thinking about this? Were they taking this into reality, right? The fact that you're in a situation where you're paying people who are staying home and doing absolutely nothing with their lives, and you expect them to just go back to work and take the free money that they had, and instead of just sitting at home making free money, that they would want to go to work and earn that money. Why, what do they say? Once something is given for free, it's considered free forever. That's why we don't do freebies here at Dan Tortora Broadcast Media, right? Once you give for free, then the expectation is that you never have to pay for it. You never have to do anything for it. And as we look at society now, and people say, well, why are people so lazy and why is customer service so terrible? Well, some of you asked for it. Not all of us, but some of you asked for it when you thought it was fine that people stayed at home and they didn't have to go to work and they could just get free money from the government. And isn't that so great? Nothing is free. It comes with a price. And society came with a price that during COVID and stay at home, and then now you can go back to work, but you don't have to go back to work. We're just going to give you money. We're going to give you $600 a week to sit on your butt and do nothing, make nothing of yourself, and be no contribution to society. And I said, guess what? Now we're going to have less people at the movie theater. So it's going to take longer to get tickets, take longer to get food. Now we're going to have less people working at the gas station. So it's going to take longer to get our receipts. Now it's going to take longer at the grocery store because there's not enough people there. And so I don't know why people are surprised right now when they're looking at society and saying, why does it take so much longer to do normal things, right? It's now a waste of time. It's now a waste of time to do some of this stuff, right? I went to a grocery store yesterday. There was one lane open. Of the 5 lanes that they had, there was one lane open. One for all the people. And we're talking about, I went to the grocery store. It was 5 o'clock. Yeah, it was 5 o'clock. So you have like rush hour, people coming out of work, people wanting to get their groceries, go home, cook something, all that good stuff. 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and there was one register open. I want to give a shout out to places like Walmart because they have 37 registers and they used to have 2 open at any point in the day, and now they actually have more. But when I go to some of these places, and I think didn't Walmart incentivize? Didn't they offer you something like it wasn't only that we're gonna pay you, but we're gonna do we're gonna like give other things to our employees and whatnot. I'm looking it up right now to make sure. Yeah, so the Netflix hub will offer. Oh no, that was customers. No, Walmart does not directly offer a free subscription to their employees. Okay, so that's good because there was that rumor, and I didn't want to say it if it wasn't true, obviously, because I don't believe in spreading lies. And the whole notion that Walmart was like, hey, if you work here, we're going to give you Netflix and all that stuff. So I just looked up and it said that no, that is not true. But for whatever reason, they got more people there, so credit to them. But I mean, the customer service has gone down either by having less people or just the quality of employees sucks. It just sucks. I remember when I worked at Disney, if we took our phone out on stage, which is anywhere that any guest can see you, if I took my phone out, I could have been fired on the spot. Now I feel like these people talk on their phones, they talk to each other, they don't even care, doesn't matter to them about anything. I had to take my cross off when I worked at Disney. I had to take my cross off because you couldn't have any visible jewelry. Now you can have visible tattoos, you can have facial hair all over, you can color your hair 18 different colors, right? I think. Maybe that's still a rule. It used to be that your hair had to be a natural color, it had to look like it was natural. But yeah, I had to take my cross off and I ended up losing it. I had to put it in my back pocket and I lost it. I lost that, and I lost I think my 21 that I also wore. So still have no idea where that was. Nobody ever turned it in if they found it, unfortunately. But the quality of customer service, it's always been who you get on the phone or who you get in person. And my annoying moment of the week is who I got. I'm not going to tell you where I went, but I went to an electronics place and my laptop wasn't working. So my laptop wasn't working. I have no idea why. There were some messages on my laptop that maybe like something needed to be like HP was kind of saying like I don't know. I mean, I was deleting memory on there. I was taking stuff out or not deleting memory, but I was taking stuff out that was like big files and whatnot. So, I mean, the computer was working. It was working totally fine. Turned it off on a last Thursday, and then took the day off on Friday. Actually, took a day off. Not like I'm not going to do the show, but I'm going to edit. I'm not going to edit, but I'm going to have 5 meetings. I'm not going to have 5 meetings, but I'm going to write all the stuff. No, like I actually physically took a day off, which I don't know the last time I took a full day off, and I did that. And then Saturday, I turned my computer on, and I was like, all right, well, let me like just kind of see here. I was kind of chilling out on Saturday too, but I wanted to see if there was something, like maybe I could work on or check out, whatever. And my computer wouldn't turn on. So I tried like all the stuff to try and get it to turn on, like the Control Alt Delete and all that good stuff, and hitting the Windows button and the escape key and whatnot, and none of it worked. So I was like, okay, Sunday, I wake up, it's not working. Saturday night, I made an appointment to bring my computer in. So I bring my computer in on Sunday after church, and I'm happy I got to go to church because that means a lot to me. So I went to church, got out of church, go over to this place. And when I go over to the place to get my computer fixed, I sit down with the guy. He like looks at the computer. He sees what I've seen. So he tries to turn it on and the screen stays black, but it says that the computer's physically on. And he's like, "Oh." And then he tells me they can't fix it. They can't really do anything with it. Could be a motherboard problem. Could cost me a ton of money. So I said, "All right, well, I need my computer for tomorrow." So I said, "I guess I'm going to have to go look at laptops." So I was in the market for a desktop for the studio. So I already had to look at a desktop. The good thing is it was 4th of July weekend, so I was like, okay, so there was 4th of July sales that were ending that day. So I said, okay, that's good. And then I know that Amazon was having their deals coming up, so I said, okay, so maybe I'll get some Amazon deals if I can't get anything here or whatever. But I need this computer like now. So I need to like get it in the store. So I went and looked at laptops. And they didn't have the exact laptop that I had, but they had, a bunch of the same company, whatever. So I'm waiting around for somebody to help me. There's somebody in the department helping this person. There's another person kind of standing there, and I have no idea what they're doing with their life. And so I stopped somebody eventually. I waited for like, I don't even know, 10 minutes. I want to say it was 10 minutes. Maybe it was a little bit less, but I'm just standing there. And this is what we do so many times now. Remember back in the day, there were people in departments. It's like these people are with TVs, these people are with refrigerators, these people are with computers, these people are with video games. And or there's people walking around, can I help you with anything? Do you need any help? Do you have a question? So I'm waiting and I'm waiting. Now I want to buy something and I'm standing there waiting for somebody. If I didn't need it that day, I would have just walked out because the guy that was supposed to help me in tech support did almost nothing with my computer. And I'm not trying to disrespect the guy. I'm just kind of looking at him like he kind of looked at it, I looked at it. It was like two buddies looking at a computer. I was like, "Do you work in the tech squad? Is this something that you do here? Like, do you know where you are right now?" Because he just turned the computer on, he stared at it. He's like, "Yeah, well, I don't really know what we could do here today. We're kind of backed up today, and so we might have to take it, we might have to keep it, and then we might have to send it out. It's probably gonna be like 3 weeks." And I was like, "But you're right here, right now." "What do you mean it's 3 weeks? You're here, right? You're physically here." Like, and I have never brought a computer into this place where they have actually fixed it. There might have been one time. No, I don't think they ever fixed it. I think it was like the remedy was buy a new computer every time. It was, well, you could pay for this or you get a new computer. But it's like, what is the point of you people being tech people if you don't fix anything? So I'm looking at laptops. I'm waiting for somebody to show up. And then I reached out to one of the employees and I was like, "Can you help me?" And then they were extremely helpful, wonderful, beyond like great customer service. So happy I got this person. And she kind of led me through everything. And I was like, "All right, well, I got to get a desktop and I got to get a laptop. I don't want to, but I have to." So then they were like, "Hey, if you get a membership plan, it'll cover you for your other laptop. So if you can, you got to bring that over to get fixed. Then like do what you need to do." But then she's talking to me and she goes, "Well, they can fix it over there." I said, "I was just over there. They said they couldn't." She goes, "There's nobody over there right now. They're not busy. I don't think they're busy. They can fix it." So I bring my laptop back over to the guy. He goes to turn it on again, and I had my external hard drive, and I plugged that in, and I was like, "So can we?" She said that bare minimum you can get all my information off, and he was like, "Yeah." And he's looking at my computer, and I was like, "But how are you supposed to get the information off if you can't see anything on the screen?" He was like, "Oh, that's right." And I was like, "Do I work at Tech Squad or do you?" So that was not helpful. But anyways, I ring everything up with this wonderful woman. I go home. I open up my laptop. I start getting it going because I got to rebuild my entire show. I got to do all this stuff. So I put stuff on my external hard drive, but not everything. So I'm getting ready to rebuild my show. I open up the box for my desktop. There is a crack all the way up the glass of this thing. And it's like this curved all the way up. And I was like, really, guys? So I call them up. They say, you got to bring it back. They're only open for another hour. I got less than an hour to get there. I get there 20 minutes before they close. I bring it in. I tell them what happened. The Another woman up there, she's super nice. So she's helpful. She says, can you bring him to the back, help him find a desktop? So we go to the back. They don't have the same one. So he says, let me go to the back. It says we have two. Now, this guy kind of looks to see if they have one. He looks to see. He doesn't check every box, which I'm kind of confused with because he's like checking these boxes, but he's not checking every box of the company. So I'm like, is that not one? Is that not one? So he says, well, it says we have two. He goes to the back. He goes to the back. He says, well, there isn't anything back here. So what I can do is I can get you a better version of this computer. It's just going to cost you $50 more. I looked at the dude and I said, my man, with all due respect, I spent $2,600 here today. You can't waive the $50 after I found a crack in my computer. I've spent almost 3 grand here. Plus, I just got home. I've been dealing with this for over 3 hours now. I've been away from my family. It was my dog Lily's birthday. I was trying to be home with her, and I wasn't home most of the day. So I said, is there anything you can do? He said, let me get a manager. He brings this woman over, and she looks at me. She goes, yeah, I can give you the computer. I can't give you the $50 off. And I was like, are you serious right now? With everything I've been through today, you can't? I said, well, I guess customer service doesn't matter to you people. And she just stood there. I was like, I guess customer service doesn't matter here. And she stood there, kind of smirked, and walked away. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? So I looked at the guy. I was like, well, go get the computer. Go get it because I have to get it. And y'all don't care about customer service and treating people right, but I have to get the computer right now. And so in my head, I'm like, I'm never coming back to this place for the rest of my life. The way that they've treated me, what I've been through, their tech squad giving me no assistance like they typically don't do. And on top of all of that, this woman can't waive $50 after there's a crack in my computer and I've spent $2,600. This is stupid. So little did she know, and this is how stupid and short sighted some people are. It's like, you treat me this way today, I will never come back in this store again. I will never come back. I didn't want to come back today, but I won't come back in the store again. So you'll get the sale today, but the $10,000, $20,000, $40,000 I'll spend for the rest of my life will not be spent here because of you, because of the person you've chosen to be, and because of your terrible customer service and your lack of any type of care or concern. And I always wonder when people treat you this way, I'm like, they have to deal with customer service, right? She has to go to the grocery store, she has to go to the doctor for like a yearly checkup, right? So she's going to have to go somewhere. What if the doctor's a jerk? What if people don't answer questions? What if he's an hour and a half late? What if she goes to the grocery store and nobody cares about, any assistance that she needs? when she's in the grocery store? What if she goes on the plane and she hits her button and she needs a drink of water because she's got to take a pill and nobody will bring her water because the flight attendant could care less because the flight attendant's just like her and she doesn't have customer service? So that's what I mean. Do people think that they're immune to customer service? Like, if you're bad at helping customers, if you don't care about other people, you have to experience that somewhere else in the world. And then what are you going to do then? Call your friends up and complain? You wouldn't believe what I just went through in the grocery store. When I'm calling my friends up saying, you wouldn't believe how this woman treated me at the place that she works. Why are you surprised that there's bad customer service where you're one of those people? But a lot of times, the people that are doing something that is not great, they don't see that they're doing it. They see all the people that are doing it to them. And so, and also, she doesn't know I'm a broadcaster. She doesn't know I'm a business owner. So she's sitting here fully, I mean, I'm fully knowing this is my annoying moment of the week. She doesn't know that. And I'm fully understanding that as a business owner, I have no desire to come back in here again and to connect with you in any way, shape, or form. Again, you never know who you're dealing with. She didn't know who she was dealing with. She just thought she was dealing with some dude that was bothering her right before they were supposed to close. So they go get the computer. The kid that gets the computer super nice. He carries the computer because, by the way, so I spend all this money. I have to carry it to my car by myself. I carried it out by myself. I carried it in by myself. Nobody was like, "Do you want a cart? Do you want me to help you? Is there anything that I could do to assist you?" Two people standing in front of the door. Nobody can get up and help me outside. Not at all. Well, this kid carries my computer to the front, and it was the first person that carried anything of mine that day outside of them carrying it from the back to the register because obviously I can't go to the back. So kid was super nice. I said, "Really? Your manager, $50? That's stupid." I said, "I can't believe something like that." He doesn't really say much. I get to the register. The woman that had helped me find my computers was at the register. And she said, "Hey, like, is everything okay now? Did you get everything figured out?" I said, "Yeah, outside of the fact that you have a manager that can't waive $50 for everything I went through today." She goes, "Who did you talk to?" And I told her the name of the person. She's like, "She's not even a manager." I was like, "Oh, so they lied to me. Sweet." And so not only was she rude, but she was impersonating something that she's not. So she said, "Let me get a real manager." So she calls up this guy. He comes over. She goes, "Look at the rate." She goes, "You can look and see. This guy bought two computers today. He bought a membership today. He spent all this money. He had a crack in his computer. You can look at the." And then the other girl was like, "You can come look at the crack. Like, it is visibly right here." And she's like, "Can you waive the $50?" He's like, "Yeah, no problem." He waives the $50. He's super nice. He goes, "Yeah, have a good night." And he walks away. And then I said to the two women that were so nice there, I said, "Is there anywhere where I can write about how great you guys are? Because your customer service is awesome. And obviously, as we know, not everybody has that." Now, in the meantime, the girl that impersonated a manager, she's walked by twice. And I was like, "Don't look me in the eye because I'm not dealing with you no more. If I walk in here and you're the only person working here, I'll go somewhere else." So I asked them, "Is there anywhere where I could say something nice about you both?" And they were like, "Yeah, at the bottom of your receipt, you can contact." And I was like, "Okay." And so I said, "Well, thank you." And then the woman that sold me the computers, she was like, "I just want to let you know that you were an absolute pleasure to work with today." And I was like, "Oh my," I said, "That's very sweet of you." I said, you were awesome to work with as well. And I appreciated the fact that they were so helpful and they were so nice and they were so kind. So yeah, I mean, it was that part of it was great. But my annoying moment of the week is obviously, the fact that not everybody is like that. I had someone that was great that helped me find my computer, and they still didn't fix my other computer. So I have to bring it back. I have to bring them a drive. This is how ridiculous this is. I had to buy a membership in order to get my computer fixed. Because if I didn't buy a membership, they would have charged me almost $200 just to run diagnostics on my computer. So the membership's $180. Just to run diagnostics, she's telling me it's going to be 160. Plus, if they have to fix anything, so they kind of force you into a membership just to get a computer fixed. And so I still have to bring it back. I have to buy an external hard drive. So I have to drive with my gas, bring my computer there, drop my computer off, buy an external hard drive so they could take the information and hopefully get it off my computer and put it on the external hard drive. And hopefully they could do it within a few days. or they might keep it longer. It seems really inconvenient to have a tech place that can't fix your computer on the spot or fix it within 24 hours or 48 hours. Because normally when you're dropping a computer off, you're not like, yes, I'd like to be without it for a week or 5 days or 3 weeks or whatever it may be. So, my annoying moment of the week is for some, we've obviously developed a society in America where it was the minority. I would like to hope that, when I was working, starting to work, it was the minority that had bad customer service. You kind of look at that person and be like, why are you talking to people like that? You're going to get fired. To everybody sit at home and do nothing. To now you don't have to work, but if you want to work, and now you have these people that now I feel like it's hard to find a good person in customer service or somebody that cares. It's like a 50-50 shot. It shouldn't be a 50-50 shot. When I called the company that has our internet, 50-50 shot. I called up. I had a guy who seemed like he cared, but really kind of didn't when push came to shove, just to talk to a woman who really does care, and she was really really helpful and very sweet. But I had to call for 3.5 years just to get anybody to help me at the company. 3.5 years just to have anyone care. That's really friggin' sad. So yeah. So do I want to go into this establishment anymore? No. Did they make me feel any better about it? No. I mean, every time I go in there, gosh forbid I have to get a computer fixed, and I walk into that building, I'm like, I know that you people are probably not going to do it. I don't know if you're going to look at it. I don't know if you try to fix anything. I don't know how your tech support better than what I do because he turned the computer on and stared at it the same way I did and then forgot that he couldn't see anything to get any of the information off the computer. So why is he out here why is he out here talking to me right now? Like, you don't go to a you don't go to a crocodile tamer to do open heart surgery. So if you're telling me that you're a doctor, be a doctor. If you're telling me you're a doctor of computers, you're a tech support person, then actually know what you're doing. Because numerous times I've come in and the remedy has been to buy a new computer. The remedy has been to not bring it into you people. The remedy is to not waste my time in this establishment. And so that's the frustrating part. But there was two amazing people there and a manager that was super nice. So I'm going to give them their flowers. My annoying moment of the week is the other people that were there and just the lack of knowledge, wisdom, professionalism, making me feel like my computer is safe here, giving me answers, guiding me. I'm not saying that the kid was rude at the tech thing, but it was like, why are you here? It was like he could have been working tech or stocking sodas, same knowledge. And I mean, unless he was hiding that he was knowledgeable in it, but I'm sitting here saying to myself, like, did someone put you here because like someone called out today? And like, and in that case, just tell me that. Be like, hey, I'm not supposed to work in this department because this has been really. I mean, it was just, it was not a great experience. Again, I don't like bringing my computer in there. And here I am bringing my computer in, and the people in tech support can't seem to understand anything more than what I understand, which is not why I brought it in here, right? When you go to the doctor for them to tell you what's wrong. You don't go to the doctor for them to go, huh, I'm kind of stumped like you. So that's how it was with the computer. And like I said, a $2,600 sale, and that woman was willing to lose it all over $50. I could have turned around and been like, you know what, take the desktop back. You can't waive $50 and you don't care, and you're going to stand here and act like I don't matter when I'm the reason why you have a job, because if we didn't show up in here, you don't have a place to work if this is what you want to do for a living. So let's be real about something. Appreciate your customers, be kind to your customers. I haven't been rude to you. I've been patient, beyond patience, and I'm not having it. I'm not having it. So I mean, the computer cost me $1,100 plus tax. She was willing to lose 1,100 plus dollars over 50 bucks. I could have turned around and been like, then take the desktop back. You sold me a cracked desktop and you won't waive $50 on it, then take it back. And you can describe to your boss, and when corporate comes in to ask you about your sales, you can let them know why an $1,100 sale walked out the door because you couldn't waive $50. Does that sound smart to you? I'm not asking you to waive $50 just because. I'm asking you to waive $50 because I drove here today, drove back home, drove back here today, have to drive back home because you sold me a cracked computer. So at the very least, pay for my gas, you know. And that's why it's the annoying moment of the week because unfortunately, when it comes to customer service, it's not like you go into this business and you're going to get good customer service. It comes to who you get. And what did Jerry say? I once asked a rude salesperson, "Do you have a husband?" She replied, "Why?" And he said, "Because I will never hit a woman." That's true, Jer. And that's what I say. I'm like, Mom, come down here and fight this woman, because I don't fight women. But my mom would have eaten that person up. She was awful. But again, there was three good workers. There was one so-so. There was one person who looked like they had no idea where they were, and there was a really rude person that impersonated a manager. And unfortunately, going through that, again, like every time that I've gone into this place, for the most part, in many years, every time I walk in there, I was like, I have no faith in this place. I'm just going here because I'm trying to get something now. I'm trying to get some answers now. I would like to think that this establishment has done something right over the years since they've been around for so long and they're all over the country. But they typically never make me feel better. But I will say that I will be making that phone call and I will be saying nice things about the two women that were extremely helpful and kind and sweet, and because of one of them made sure that I got the $50 waived instead of just going, oh, well, she said that, well, I guess that's how it is. So I thank her for going the extra mile, very, very much so. And I thank the other woman because the more I got to know her before I left, she was very, very kind and she was very helpful. So I thank them both. And that's the silver lining in this annoying moment of the week. But customer service, folks, okay? Again, people not being raised right is part of it. People not being raised at all is another part of it. And either people not being raised right or raised at all. And then the other side of it is, this whole during COVID, letting people stay at home and get free money. I said, no one's going to want to go to work. No one's going to want to go. And why are they going to fight hard when they get there when they know it doesn't matter? I mean, this fake manager spoke to me like she did not give a flying blank about anybody in that store. She was just in there like, yeah, yeah, I don't care. I like saying that. I don't. She looked at me like, you don't matter to me. Your business doesn't matter to me. And this is a short and sweet conversation because I got stuff to do. That's what she felt like to me. And that person, when I was growing up, if they were in an establishment, they would have been shown the door. Hey, let me walk you to the front. Don't worry about the 50 bucks and don't worry about your check today. Have a good day. So, customer service is important. Please understand, folks, you are the face of the company, even if you think you're not. How you treat people affects whether or not they come back in the door. I have had to bring my computer there to get it fixed, but I don't, even though like I had to buy all this other stuff, I haven't gone over there in almost a week because I have no desire to see that woman's face, and I have no desire to go back to a tech squad that doesn't seem to know anything about technology. So, I'm not looking forward to it, but I have to do it, and I will within the next couple days. With that being said, we're going to take a step aside here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. The annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. Head there today and get my Sunday, the DT Dolphin, available 7 days a week, and it is buy one, get one on Wednesday. Wednesdays. So make sure you get over there on Wednesday for buy one, get one. And any day of the week, go and get the DT Dolphin Sunday on site, on location at Carvel DeWitt. With that being said, we're going to take a step aside for a fast break. When we spin back around here, we will have lead, learn, evolve, ad lib, and deliver from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios right after this. Stay with us.
Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McNerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Brian and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Brian and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Bryan's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Life gets busy, and sometimes that means us running around. So K-9 Camp Dog Daycare offers you an opportunity to give your dog a place to stay while you take care of what you need to throughout the day. K-9 Camp Dog Daycare is located on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, New York. You can see it from the highway, and it's just off of Erie Boulevard across from BJ's Wholesale Club. Call 315-437-7110. That's 315-437-7110 to schedule an appointment to bring your dog in and tour the facility. Appointments are Monday through Thursday after 6:30, where you and your dog can see everything that K-9 Camp Dog Daycare has to offer, including a self-serve dog wash and a retail store filled with all of your dog's wants and needs, including food, treats, harnesses, leashes, and more, making K-9 Camp Dog Daycare your one-stop shop for your furry-loving friend. Right, Lily?
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Great Lakes Honda City on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday for sales and service. Go and see their Pilot, their Passport, their Civic, their HRV, their Accord, their Ridgeline, their CRV, and more at Great Lakes Honda City. And of course, you can get a sneak peek by going to greatlakeshondacity.com. Jumping into lead, learn, evolve, ad lib, and deliver is the acronym created by God and myself back in 2019. More credit to him than me. Proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero. Our topic today, let God lead. So what does that mean if we break down the word lead in this acronym? Let God help you learn. That makes sense. Let God help you evolve. That also makes sense. Let God help you ad lib, right? Let God have you be able to adjust to the fact that things don't always go your way. And let God help you deliver. Man, who's better help in making sure you deliver on a promise than God? So if you let God lead your life, You can have God there to help you learn, to help you evolve, to help you ad-lib, and to help you deliver. Doesn't that make sense? Doesn't that make a lot of sense? Let God lead. Let God teach you, evolve you, help you to be able to answer the call when things don't go your way. And let God help you deliver on the promises and the hopes and dreams that you have and you aspire, the things you aspire to do and be. That kind of sums it all up right there, doesn't it? Well, see you later. No, I'm kidding. So, but let God lead. Jerry said, "Isn't it amazing how the Lord tests our patience?" Got to teach us to have it, Jerry, I guess. God has definitely taught me patience, and sometimes I've been really good at it, and sometimes I've been absolutely atrocious at it. But God has tested my patience for almost a decade now, and I could argue more than that for something that has been on my mind for a long time in my life. And at the same time, God has given me something so effortlessly that I'm sitting here and you get down on your knees and you say, like, thank you, God. Thank you, God, for letting me have this. A lot of that happened on my Italy trip. A lot of that's happened with my business, with my dreams, my aspirations, with Lily. So I can't thank God enough. I'm not going to sit here and complain. I've done that enough with God, and I'm sorry. And I'm sorry, God, that I have complained to you because I shouldn't have. And, you know, teaching us patience is it's a valuable lesson. We all need to have it for sure. And when you let God lead, and this kind of goes into the thing that I've been impatient about, when you let God lead, you're not. I've wasted so much time trying to lead God instead of letting God lead me. I've wasted so much time trying to figure things out instead of listening to God in the silence. I've complained about the silence instead of listening to Him in it. I've yelled and I've sworn and I've cried instead of saying, just like with anything else, I give this to you. God, if God was batting in my life, and I say, okay, I have so much more than I could ever ask for, God's batting 1,000. If you say, well, I don't have this one thing that I want, but I have everything else, then God's batting 978. Best batters in baseball bat under 400. God's batting almost 1,000. And I would argue that God is batting 1,000 because whatever He's not letting me have is for a reason. So when I look at my life and I look at what it's been like to not allow God to lead me, it's been awful. When I don't let God lead me, I have gone through a ton of pain. I have gone through so much strife, confusion, angst. When I haven't let God lead me, my life has been very, very, I don't want to say it's been difficult. I've just gone down really troubled paths when I don't listen to Him. When I have said to God, hey, I want this and I want it now. I don't want to wait for it anymore. I've waited long enough. I want it now. And so just give it to me now. And when God hasn't given it to me, I went to go take it. And that didn't work out. So, why did I want to talk about this let God lead? Because when you don't let God lead, the repercussions of that, the consequences of that, I felt them. When I say to God, no, I got it. No, I got it. I'll figure it out. I don't need you to help me figure this out. I'll figure it out on my own. I'll do it. I know better than you. It never works out. Jerry said God would rather have you complain to him than not speak to him at all. And I agree, Jerry. 100%. 100%. And God and I have always talked, and we will always talk. We've been talking probably since I was up in heaven before he sent me down to be in my mother's womb. And when I haven't let him lead my life, I have found so much strife and so much pain. When I've asked him for an answer and he's given it to me, and then I've gone, yeah, well, thanks for the answer, but I don't really want to do that, or I don't want to do it right now, or I don't really want to do it at all. So that's something that I've had to really look at in my life is, do I let God lead? Do I let God have the reins? Does Jesus take the wheel? Or am I so stuck on, I got to do it, I got to do it, I got to do it, it's got to be me, that I don't let him do it? And when I look at how much time I've wasted, or my eyes been taken off the ball, so to speak, it's like God taught me how to be a really good basketball player. And then all of a sudden I stopped watching the ball and zoned out. And now the person I'm defending has scored 30 points because I'm not playing the game. I know how to play the game. I'm talented enough to play the game. I've gained enough experience to play the game. I know what I need to do, but I'm not focusing on the game. And now at 39 years old, I've looked at God and I've said, you know what? I'm still fighting you a little bit. Not fighting you, but I'm still trying to lead a little bit. I'm still trying to tell God, well, what about this and what about this? But it's few and far between now. It's a lot less now. It was, God, I want this in my life. I'm going to go get it. Because anything in my life that I wanted, I've gone after. But this one thing in my life that I want, he's like, hey, be patient. I'm like, well, God, I'm a go-getter. I'm confident. I'm courageous. I've learned a lot of things over time. Like, I got to get off the wall. I got to be willing to dance. And he, yeah. I want you to be yourself. I don't want you to not do those things. I don't want you to not fight for what you want in your life. I don't want you to not go after things, but you need to be patient with this. You need to trust me and where you're going to find it, how you're going to find it, what you're going to find. And that's hard for me because I'm a go-getter, right? I wouldn't have my business if I wasn't the type of person that I've chosen to be. I wouldn't be broadcasting right now. I wouldn't be flying all over the country, sometimes flying outside of the country. I would not be the person I am today if I didn't take a hold of my life. So I'm not saying sit on a couch and wait for God. I'm saying you have to let God lead. It doesn't mean you don't take steps. It means you ask him to guide those steps. Because somebody said it to me before where I posted a Bible verse where it said, like a man chooses his path, but the Lord guides his steps. That a man chooses what he wants to do with his life. A woman chooses what she wants to do with her life. Like, I want to be an actress. I want to be a broadcaster. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a veterinarian. I want to be a security guard. I want to be a coach. Whatever it may be, this is what I want to do. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a flight attendant. This is what I want to do. But God guides your steps, right? Lord, this is what I want in my life, but you have to work with God. And I've worked with God in almost everything that I've done. But in certain things, I was like, I'm not going to work with you on this. When you show me it's wrong, I'm going to try to force it to be right. When you tell me it's not healthy, I'm going to keep going in that direction. Be like, no, I can fix it. I can make it better. And I have had so much pain in my life that was unnecessary because I did not let God lead me. I asked him for an answer, he gave it to me, and I said, that's not the answer I wanted, and I kept going in that direction. So why is it an important topic today? Because it's important to know that as much as we are the keepers of our own lives, we make our own decisions, and it is up to us if we want something, that we have to be willing to go after it, to chase after it, to work toward it, that it is also something for us to understand that God may say, this is not the right thing for you. This is not something that is healthy for you. This is not what I want you to do. This is not what I want you to do right now. This is not what I want you to focus on. This is not the person to be around. This is not the situation to be in. It doesn't mean that God doesn't love you. It actually means the opposite. And if I had listened to God when He said to me, son, this is not right. This is not good. This is not healthy. This is not the place that I need you to be at. Focus on this. Focus on that. Follow me here. Put your energy into this. Stay away from that. If I had listened to God, I would not have had the pain that I had. And it's not that I didn't gain knowledge and wisdom and experience, but I gained a lot of pain. A lot of pain. And it consumed my life. So as I step forward here today, I'm going to chase after my dreams. I'm going to go after what I want. I'm going to make myself available. I'm going to show God that I am ready for Him to meet me halfway. I am standing on the line ready to go. But I'm going to let Him lead me. It doesn't mean that I'm sitting on a couch waiting. It means I am ready to go. But if God says wait 5 more minutes, it could be to protect me from an accident. If God says take this car, not that car, it could be because that car is about to lose a wheel or drop its transmission. If God says sit in the car with this person but not that person, it could be to save me pain on a long drive. God's not telling you to sit and do nothing, to not get behind the wheel. In my opinion, God is just saying, let me lead you. Let me be a part of your journey. Welcome me into your home. Welcome me into your car. Welcome me into your studio. Welcome me into your office. Welcome me into your heart. Welcome me into your mind. Welcome me into your soul. Welcome me into your body. And let me guide you. That's why my 2 prayers are God, guide me and guard me. Guide me toward you. Guard me from everything that is not of you. And your will over my want. Meaning, whatever I want in my life, if it is not good for me, may your will win over my want. May you help guide my path. Not that I'm not going to chase my dreams, not that I'm going to not go after what I want, but sometimes you have to say to me no, or not right now, or I need you over here. My mom said this to me. I had worked with a team for a very, 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 very long time. And these new people came in and they treated me poorly without a reason. They disrespected me. They followed me. It seemed like there was a special set of rules for me, and none of it made any sense. And when they asked me to prove myself, I proved myself over and over and over again of over a decade of body of work. And they still said no. And my mother said, you did everything you could. You gave them all the information. You gave them more than enough to show what you have done. You've done everything right. You've done everything that you could possibly do. And if it's still not working out and they still said no and you've exhausted everything that you can do, then this is God telling you that He is redirecting you because He needs you somewhere else. And I didn't want to go anywhere else. I wanted to go to this place. And what ended up happening? I ended up covering an event deeper than I've ever covered it in a historic season at a historic time. I had some of the greatest moments of my life, of my career, and I got to be in a place that so few people got to be in. So obviously, He was redirecting me. He was refocusing me, and He was saying, don't stop chasing your dreams, because these were both part of my dreams. It was don't stop chasing your dreams. It just, you've chased your dreams and you've made it here and you've gotten to do this over and over again. And I know that you'll do this for the rest of your life, but you've never done this before. And this is still a part of your dreams and it's still a part of everything you do. I'm not taking you away from your dreams. I'm not taking you away from your talents. I'm not taking you away from your aspirations. I'm just giving you a new memory. I'm giving you a new avenue. I'm giving you a new opportunity. I'm deepening your roots here. Not that I don't ever want you to go over here, but maybe this is better. You're using your talents in both places. And look at how cool this is. Look at how amazing this is. You never thought you were going to do this, did you? Did you ever really think that you were going to be here doing this thing? And I didn't. So he gave me something that I never asked for. That came after something was taken away that I never, in my opinion, had done anything to lose it. So something was taken away that I didn't lose by my own doing to give me something I never knew I was going to gain. That's what I'm saying. Don't stop chasing your dreams. Don't stop chasing what you want in life and what you're going after. Just let God lead you and be willing to say to Him, I will give everything I can, Lord, and I will go after my heart's desire, but I will trust you along the way to guide my path, because there's a million paths I can take to get to this place. May it be yours that I take. With that being said, this has been Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad Lib, and Deliver, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and the incredible team member staff there, led by owner-operator Jim Rusakowski, a brother to me. Let God lead. We'll take a step aside, and we'll be back right after this with the top dog of the week. Stay with us.
Avicoli's restaurant, located on 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool, New York, has been serving our community for decades. Your place to go for home cooking on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road is just minutes from Liverpool High School. And every single month, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is on site, on location, with Liverpool sports, student athletes, coaches, and administration telling their stories throughout the year. We look forward to seeing you on site at Avicoli's for their casual pizza side, their fine dining, as well as their bar. And of course, you can order online at myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. For takeout, delivery, and catering, call 315-622-5100. That's 315-622-5100. Come on in to the neighborhood spot Avicoli's, open 7 days a week in Liverpool, New York. K-9 Kampground Dog Boarding is your home away from home for your furry-loving friends. Open 7 days a week with drop-off and pickup times in the morning and later on in the day and early evening. K-9 Kampground Dog Boarding is the spot to trust with your dog for short and long-term stays. Call 315-299-4013 for more information. That's 315-299-4013, and go to k9campground.com as well. That's the number 9, KAMP ground.com, where you will find all of the information on their different cabins, which include the classic cabin, executive cabin, grand cabin, and luxury cabin. K-9 Kampground Dog Boarding, where your dog will have indoor and outdoor areas as well as their own private cabin for any size, any breed, as well as dogs with different needs. Dog parents and dogs alike choose K-9 Kampground Dog Boarding. Isn't that right, Lily? Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here with us every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And of course, we are here up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So, however you're connected with the show, we thank you so much for tuning in Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios. And it is now time to bring you our top dog of the week. Top dog of the week, proudly presented by the wonderful team at K-9 Camp Dog Daycare. That's K-9 Camp Dog Daycare on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse. That's 228 Old Bridge Street, East Syracuse, right off of Bridge Street, right across from BJ's Wholesale Club, and very easy to find. You can see it simply by going to, I mean, when you're coming off the highway, it is right there. You could see it going on the highway, coming off the highway, and it's right by Erie Boulevard. So make sure that you make your way over to K-9 Camp Dog Daycare. You can call them at 315 437 7110. That's 315 437 7110 to get information on them today. And of course, you can also get in touch by going to K-9 Kamp.com. That's K-9 Kamp.com to get more information today on the daycare for your dog, K-9 Camp Dog Daycare. They also have a self wash where you can wash your dog on your own. So they have like a self washing station. And they also have a full store where you can get leashes for your dogs as well as get them harnesses, food, treats, and so much more. Head off to K-9 Camp Dog Daycare today and let them know that Wake Up Call sent you. My top dog of the week for this week. It's a good thought. Who is my top dog of the week for this week? This is one where I could take a step back and really think about. I'm going to give it up to my buddy Josh for being my top dog of the week this week. And the reason why I'm nominating Josh as my top dog of the week is because this man works tirelessly. He cares so much. And it's not that other people don't. He works so hard. And I feel like, as much as I see him do and as many things that he does, and I can understand him because you do 100 things in a day and then you think, well, I didn't do this and I didn't do that. I gave this person my word and I'm supposed to do that. I want to do that. He does so much. The physical labor that he does, the mental labor that he brings forward, the knowledge, the wisdom, the connections he's trying to make, the emails, the text messages, the talking face to face with customers, to making sure that everything that he puts out there on a showroom floor is worth putting out there. The attention to detail, the amount of hours put in, and the blood, sweat, and tears. And then when you talk to him, it's always, man, I'm so far behind. I wish I could do more. I need to do more. I feel like I'm not doing enough. And those are the people that you have to surround yourselves with. The people that no matter how much good they do, I can always do more. I can always do more good. And I'm not saying that I want people who are stressed out, and I'm not saying that. I'm saying a person who gives so much of their mind, their heart, their body, their soul, their time, and then is always saying, I could have done this for this customer. I could have done a little bit more here. I could have done a little bit more there. I should have gotten this out. I need to do this. I was going to work on this. I need to bring this out. I need to get in touch with that person. I haven't heard from them in a while. When you have somebody that cares so deeply that no matter how much good they do, they're always thinking to themselves, I could do more. Those are top dogs of every week. And so I'm nominating my buddy Josh as the top dog of the week because he works incredibly hard, he gives of himself, and he tries to do the best that he can at all times. And I just really appreciate it. And I think he doesn't give himself enough credit, which is why I want to give him credit today. And it's why I always say it to him when we're talking on the phone or texting or talking in person. I always try to remind him that he is doing enough, that it is noticed, that it is appreciated, that people like myself are very grateful for the amount of time and energy that he puts into everything that he does. because there's not a lot of people that are out here like him. And I don't want to say there's not a lot of people that are out here like him. People like him, when you find them, you hold on to them. When you find them, you let them know that you appreciate them, because not everyone is like that. Where no matter what they do, they're thinking about what else they can do to help the community, to help another person, to make sure that they take care of what they need to take care of, and so selfless that they will help everyone before themselves. That every time I talk to Josh, it's about everybody else and very rarely about him. And today we get to do something together that's about him, it's about me, it's about us, it's about having some fun. And I can't wait to give him that time, and him to give me that time, and God to give us that time, really, that we can just sit, laugh, enjoy food, have some fun, do something that we love doing, and just relax. So, Josh, you're the top dog of the week, probably presented by K-9 Camp Dog Daycare, because you give to everyone else. You give so much, and no matter how much you give us, you're looking to give more. No matter how much you do, you're looking to do more. No matter who you help, you're looking to help more people. You're good to animals. You're great to Lily. And I'll never forget that you gave her her bed. You gave her the place that she sleeps in all the time. So I love you dearly. I respect you greatly. And I'm thankful. And I pray that God only brings more people like you into my life. Shout out to our top dog of the week, Josh Gideon. We'll take a quick step aside here. Nate Hackett is going to be up right after this. And Hack and I are going to be talking about a lot of stuff. And we're in a unique place of his career. So this means if there's no allegiance technically to anyone, that means we can talk about everything. So we're taking all the cuffs off, and we're going to have a Star Wars sports related awesome conversation coming up next, and I'll get his thoughts, and you'll get his thoughts right after this. Big Nate, right after this fast break, inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios on Wake Up Call.
In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
All right, you need to come out here and get yourself the Brooklyn Pickle. I was talking about this with one of my buddies. I was like, yo, there's no better sandwich in the state of New York than the Brooklyn Pickle. And now that I found out that they're going down to North Carolina, we are taking over your taste buds everywhere you are, wherever you're going to be. You need to get yourself out to the Brooklyn Pickle. Pinehurst, you just realized that you found yourself the best sandwich shop that you're ever going to have. This is a glorious moment. It's a blessing to your community. You're welcome. Brooklyn in the house, baby. Go over to the Brooklyn Pickle. You already know what it is.
You heard the man. Head to Brooklyn Pickle Pinehurst on 1788 Old Morgantown Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here with us Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And it is my honor and my pleasure to round out this week by having one of my good buddies here on the broadcast, and that is Mr. Nate Hackett. And so Nate is here with us here this morning on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. You know Nate from his many years in the college football and NFL worlds and all that he's done coaching up wonderful people in our community here and all over this country. So with that being said, Mr. Hackett, how are we doing?
Doing great. How you doing, Dan?
Doing very well. I'm happy to have you here. It's unique to have you here because when I've had you here in the past, it was Syracuse, it was Buffalo, it was Jacksonville, it was the Packers, it was the Jets, it was the Broncos. Now I get to have you here where we get to talk about the dirty secrets of everyone. No, I'm kidding. So, but happy to have you here today and happy to get to spend some time with you. I know your most recent stop was with the New York Jets over the last few seasons, and would love for you to give your take now that you've spent some time in Gotham City on what you have gotten from Gotham City so far.
I'll tell you, talk about a passionate fan base. I mean, people that have been wanting to win forever, and I hope them the best fortunes moving forward. And wish we could have done more, but there's so many things in this game you can't control. I mean, it's one of those things. It didn't work out, but really have enjoyed my experience. Love New Jersey. This is where my family lives. My kids, my family, everybody absolutely loves it here. So it's great to be able to stay around this region for another year.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, you learn from every experience, and you got to be there and spend some time there. But there's a gentleman that you got to spend some time with that a lot of people have opinions about, but you actually have gotten to know just you and him sitting in a room in Green Bay and with the New York Jets, and that is Aaron Rodgers. So I'd love to spend some time speaking on Aaron. How would you describe him as a human being, having known him for as many years as you have?
I'll tell you, he's one of the best people I've ever met. And it is funny because there is perceptions and there's views, and everybody's right has a right to their opinion. But when it comes to just the man himself, well, the things that he believes in, his just how he is with my family, with my kids, his ability to come to work every day, and how hard he works, how dedicated he is to the game, the type of teammate he is in the locker room, the demand he puts on people. I mean, there's a reason why he's one of the greatest ever. And it has been an absolute honor to work with him and throughout these past couple of years, and I'm really excited to see what he's going to do with the Steelers. I mean, he's with a great group there, great franchise there, and I think it's going to be, it's great for the NFL. It's great for football. I mean, to have that man be able to play with a coach like Mike T, with Arthur. It's going to be a fun year watching him. But he's a wonderful man. He really is, and it really comes down to how he treats people and family and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I love the guy.
Well, and like you said, you've had the opportunity to get to know him over the years and how he's treated your family, how he treats your kids. When there is somebody out there that has such a spotlight on them, who is he dating? What is he doing? Why is he doing it? Why did he say that? Why did he choose that? Why did he talk about a play? I mean, it seems like he's one of those people that is picked apart the most. How have you seen him handle something like that?
What's great about Aaron is every single thing that he says, he has investigated it. He's researched it. He's such a smart human being. I mean, heck, we all saw it on Jeopardy, just being able to host Jeopardy, win Jeopardy, all the things that he's done. I mean, he's so intelligent, and I think for him, whatever people say about him, it just doesn't bother him because in his how he looks at it and the research that he's gained, he truly believes in the things that he says and the things that he does. So I mean, he's going to live his life. He's going to be the man he is. And that's something I appreciate so much. I think we should all be that way. It makes so you don't lose sleep at night. You believe in what you believe in, whether whether it's God, whether it's family, whether it's whatever is important to you. And I know that's something really brilliant about him, is that he knows what he knows, and he believes in what he believes, and that's how he's going to be.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, he has his beliefs. He believes in what he believes in. Do you believe that? I mean, there's always a conversation of who is the greatest that we have ever seen. I know Tom Brady has won the most Super Bowls, but where does Aaron Rodgers stack up with the great arms of NFL history?
I'll tell you. I mean, so many people talk about who the best quarterback ever was, and I think the brilliance of this game is uh, every guy that has played this game has played it his own way, and they're all different. From Tom Brady to Peyton Manning, to Drew Brees. I mean, Dan Marino. I mean, Dan Marino did not win a Super Bowl, but I mean, he's one of the best throwers of the football there ever was. Jim Kelly's, John Elway's, Joe Montana. I mean, let's not forget that 4 for 4 in the Super Bowl. A little biased because I've known Joe for a really long time. So, Aaron, his ability to throw the ball, his ability to see the field. I mean, his athleticism is unbelievable. I mean, you look at the guys that are out there now, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is winning games doing it completely different. And I mean, his ability to run and now his ability to throw the ball. I mean,
Yeah.
I just think, it's hard to truly crown. Most people would say it's who can win the most Super Bowls, but this is a team game. And, it takes so much, more than people think. Everybody thinks it's just that trigger man. And yes, you need to have that quarterback, but the teams are what really are able to win the Super Bowls. I've always heard that saying that defense wins championships. So I mean, you can't look past the defense, great defenses that have been there with certain quarterbacks. But I think Aaron definitely stands way, way up there with just the ability to throw the ball and place the ball where he wants and be able to see the field. I mean, it's astounding working with him.
And from the work that you had with him, like you and I have talked about, I mean, you've been in rooms with him where you've said to me, he will sit there and you're open enough for constructive criticism where he would say, I think this is how it should be, and you would listen. And then vice versa, you would look at him and say, hey, I think that we should do this or we should take a look at that. And he would listen to you as well. That relationship that you have with him, I mean, does that hit you, Nate? Because I've had a lot of respect for you and the way that you go about the way you live your life far beyond football. But has it hit you that one of the greatest to ever play the game, to ever put a jersey on and strap up that helmet, is someone who has trusted you and you trusted him, and you've had genuine, real, constructive, we got to figure this thing out conversations? Has it hit you that you're one of the people that can actually get through to one of the greatest that's ever played?
I'll always be thankful for my experience with Aaron. And I think it's because of how much I learned and how much I developed, how to coach and how to understand anything that I have ever asked anybody to do. You have to have a reason for it. And Aaron's was the number one guy for that. Ryan Nassib was another guy like that. These unbelievably cerebral guys that you're around that you can ask them to do anything as long as you have a great reason and as long as you can spell it out and explain the steps. So it almost makes you come back to day one foundations to talk about how the whole thing moves forward, and just to prove that. So every single thing that you ask Aaron to do, there has to be a reason for it, unless he just already knows the reason and you don't have to talk about that. But if there's ever anything new, or anything that you're trying to throw at him, or a different way to do things, whether it's naming a defense or naming a play, or why the play should be read one way, or progression should be that way, or read should be this way. You have to know every intricate thing for every single play, because that's how he operated. And there are some quarterbacks that are like that. They need to know every single little thing. There are some quarterbacks that don't care. They're just going to do whatever you say. So it's really good to have that end of the spectrum, to be able to be pushed myself, just to be able to answer every single question and give him every avenue to be able to be successful out there. And but then it still is a whole team. It's never one guy. So I think those are some of the things that are always great to talk about with him, is how the team works. Who to throw the ball to, where, and who we're attacking, and so forth. So I mean, it really has tested me over these years being with him and pushed me very, very far.
Yeah, and you, I mean, you've worked so much with quarterbacks, and then you've worked with running offenses, and at times leading an entire team. When we look at the NFL, and we look from the Bills to the Jaguars to the Packers, the Broncos, the Jets, what have you learned about yourself as a coach from the day you walked into the NFL to where you are right now?
Ooh, that's a big one. I would say be yourself. I think it's so important. I've worked with so many different people. I've worked with so many different head coaches. Being a head coach myself and seeing the other end, sitting in that chair for a short period of time is, in the end, you got to be you.
Yeah.
Because again, I think looking at this game and doing as much self-reflection and reflection on the game as I have been able to is, you realize, you control a lot, but you don't control much. I mean, you've got 11 players out there. There's 80,000 people in the stands, even more people watching the game. And once you get to that game day, things happen, things change, and you might have the perfect play call. You might have the perfect situation for that play call, get the perfect defense, but certain things still need to be executed. And you have to be okay with who you are and know that you're going to do everything that you possibly can to put people in the right position. And you have to hope for the best and hope that it works out. And you continually train and continually do those things with those players to make it so that they're even more efficient every single time they go out on that field. And so I think for me, it's pushing myself through all the systems and understanding the intricacies of so many different things, and understanding still in the end, you can call the best play, you can call the worst play, you can call the worst play and have it's completely wrong and it could still go right. So I think that with all those things, and I reflect on every decision I've ever made, and you just got to go, wow, would I have changed it? Would I have done something different? I mean, at that moment, it was calculated in your head to get it right, and I sleep great at night understanding that.
Funniest moment that you've ever had with Aaron Rodgers? I guess the connection to this is, have you ever called a play in his ear and he's looked at you and smiled and shook his head and is like, "We're gonna do something else." So,
Oh yeah, that definitely happens. Although, I've had some crazy moments in this game. It's funny, like you can make a reality TV show or just a straight TV show on some of the things that happen. If people could hear the headsets and hear the conversations, especially on game day. I mean, there's so many things that lead up to that. But there's been a bunch of moments when that's happened. There's been, great conversations on the sideline. There's been great conversations with a lot of different quarterbacks, a lot of things and a lot of adjustments that have had to be made because just everything just blows up right in front of your face for whatever reason. And those are some of the fun things, is when you're able to adjust on the fly and be able to make it so the next time you call play, it's really loved.
yeah, and calling plays, you and I have joked about this before. You're a big Star Wars fan. I am also a Star Wars fan. So I've asked you before if you were going to implement a play or two that had a Star Wars ring to it, name to it, a little play on words. Have you, most recently, which would be with the Jets, did you have a nickname or a true name of a play that was Star Wars related?
You know what? At the Jets, we didn't. We didn't have any. Green Bay, we definitely did. Denver, we had some. I've realized over the time that you got to try to recruit the people that are the Star Wars fans for them to want to buy into it a little bit more. So when you get that group of Star Wars fans, and especially quarterbacks and some of the players that it would be involved in, they really really like it. I remember we had protection calls and all kinds of stuff when we had a group of Star Wars fans as players, and they loved it. It was really fun.
Can you tell me the name of one of the plays?
We had a Vader, we had a Leia, we had a Star Wars, just straight out calling out Star Wars. We had an Ewok. Ewok was a really good one. It was a trick play. We actually, when I was at Buffalo, we called an Ewok. I believe it was versus either the Cleveland Browns or the Steelers. It was a double reverse pass, and we threw it to Stevie Johnson, and we actually ended up getting a pass interference in the end zone. It was awesome.
So, so the Ewok worked. I like that. I like
It
that.
did. It was pretty sweet.
And I know that, you're always game planning and scheming up things and whatnot. And I know I have to keep some of this in the shadows, but what can you say about this current chapter of your life? Because you've gotten to spend a lot of time with your family, you've gotten to be with your kids, be with your wife. And I know that this is something that any coach will tell you they almost never get to do. They would say in season, my wife is a single parent, and then there's some coaches that would say, she probably feels like that most of the time, especially when you're in the NFL coaching. So, what has it been like to actually get to do something with your kids, with your wife, that is so atypical, especially for an NFL coach?
It's been unbelievable. After this season, looking back at the past 3 years, especially with my kids and the ages that they're at, not being around, moving from one job to the other. I think a lot of people don't understand when you move as a coach, it's hard because, your kids usually have to stay back and finish school. And then you get the summer off, and then all of a sudden you jump right into the football season. So that's really a year that you miss out on quite a bit. And the transition from Green Bay to Denver, Denver to New York, it was one of those things. This year, I wanted to prioritize my family, and it's one of those things I'm going to be able helping out a team. But it's one of those things. I get to do it from home, so I get to be with my kids. And my son's about to be a senior, and it's fun. We're actually leaving today to go to a college and check it out and do a soccer camp and all that kind of stuff. So, there's so many things that I've never been able to do or be a part of that have I'm allowed to now, and I just want to take advantage of that and just enjoy every moment, because family's the most important thing. And sometimes you get caught up with so many other things that you forget that. And for us, it's just been an unbelievable blessing just to be able to be with the family, be around my wife again, and it has really been an amazing time.
Have you gotten to make up for any romance? Any, like, let's go somewhere, let's go to a cabin for a couple days. I'm gonna get you some roses, even just cook dinner. Have you reignited the romance flame for your Mrs. Hackett?
Uh, I like to feel yes. I feel like I've done a good job on that. We don't get to leave as much because having four kids, 12 and 14, 16, and 17, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's funny. As a coach, you go into the office every day and you put your head down and you work and you do everything you can. And then you talk to your wife and you're like, where are you? Oh, she's driving. I think my wife is probably the best Uber driver ever. And I didn't know I was going to become an Uber driver when I finished, just because of how much transportation has to be done with so many kids, with so many activities, from sports to dance to you name it. But it's been fun being around them, and being able to cook dinners like you said, and have dinner, and just be around the family. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable.
Here with Nate Hackett this morning on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Nate, for you, when we go through all this history and all the time that you've had coaching, we spoke about what you learned from the day you walked into the NFL to where you are right now. What would you consider career wise to be the most challenging moment that you've ever had? Because adversity is how we figure out who we truly are, right? So, when you look back on the most adverse moment that you feel like really taught you something, what was that?
Whew. I'll tell you that that first Monday Night Football game when we were at New York and Aaron went down after those four plays and we're playing the Buffalo Bills. It's amazing because for somebody that you care so much about, to see something like that happen and then still have to go out and win a football game. And the amount of we had to make some adjustments, and Zach Wilson went out there and he didn't skip a beat. He had a couple hiccups here and there, but we ended up winning that football game versus the Bills. I mean, it was that was one of the hardest games I've ever had to call, just because of that. There's so many emotions going into it, and for something like that to happen right away, and then Xavier Gibson to run the punt back to win the game. I mean, again, it was a team effort, And Zach did some great things that game, and we were able to beat that team. We didn't get the results we wanted for the whole season, but that specific game to have to be able to, sit there and be strong, and because the one thing that the one guarantee the NFL gives you is you're going to face adversity at some point.
Yeah.
And seeing how that group stood up and was able to come together and win that game was pretty astounding.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that was one of the, like, spotlight wise in a negative way. It was one of the worst moments that we've ever seen in the NFL, right? Is here's Aaron Rodgers coming to the Jets, carries out the American flag, comes out onto the field. You see him for a few plays and he's gone for an entire season. And then the fans, it's like they have him, but they don't have him. And then seeing how your team stepped up and how everybody came together as a group of coaches and a group of players and won that game. And Xavier Gibson obviously gave himself an opportunity to last in
Mm.
the NFL with something like that. Favorite running back that you've ever worked with, college or pro?
Gosh, there's been a lot of really great men that I've been able to be around. I mean, probably one of my all-time favorites was Fred Jackson. Fred Jackson, he was, the old school, and just one of those guys that just did everything right. And another, a free agent guy that came out of nowhere and had an amazing career at Buffalo. I mean, I loved every moment with that man. I mean, he was a true leader, and just unselfish, and he's just a great human being, and he was one of those guys that could do everything. I mean, he wasn't necessarily the, this big game buster or anything like that, but you could always trust. You gave him the ball, he was going to get you 40 yards. I mean, he was fun to be with.
Fred Jackson, I like it. Favorite wide receiver, if one sticks out, who is it?
Well, again, been around some amazing guys. It's always hard to put it on one, but I might have to throw two out there.
Okay.
From when I first started, I coached wide receivers. I was like the assistant wide receiver coach, quality control coach with a guy named Richard Mann, who was one of my mentors. And in that room, there were four first-round draft picks, and they were all older than me. And I was able to go in there and work with them. And but a guy named Joey Galloway was unbelievable for a young coach to be able to work with, a veteran that was just, I mean, he was unbelievable
Yeah.
for me and in my career. I would say, Devontae Adams. I mean, how do you not say Tay? I mean, I think I couldn't believe how intelligent he was when I was with him those years at Green Bay and even at the Jets. His understanding of the game, ability to play every position and do everything. So I mean, he was absolutely unbelievable. But there's been a lot of great ones. I mean, throughout my career that I've been lucky enough to be with. Some of the young guys that just you throw out there and they just have to go play. Keelan Cole, I remember when he came out, and we had lost Allen Robinson early. I want to say like the 10th play of the game of the first game versus Houston in 2017. That was the year we went to the championship game, and a guy like Keelan Cole, that was a free agent wide receiver. It was unbelievable what he did that year. He was kind of our priority target with a lot of good players like Alan Hearns and Marquise Lee and all those guys. So there's been a lot of great ones I've been lucky enough to work with.
And you just mentioned one of my favorite moments in my career being a Jaguars fan is when you were in Jacksonville and I was in Jacksonville and getting to see that team make it to the AFC Championship game. So I was asked the question, when did I know that that game was over? And I don't think I ever told you this story. There was 6:06 left on the clock. I was in the second row of the press box. I looked up, I looked down on the field. I saw 6:06. I turned around and there was a chair behind me, nobody sitting in it. I saw my grandmother, my mom's mom, my G mama, and she had passed. And she looked at me and she just shook her head no. And I said,
Mm.
at 6:06, I knew. Bring me into that game that was so heartbreaking I know obviously you're a coach on that staff at the time, but like being a Jaguars fan, physically being at the game, they've been to three AFC championships. This is the one I was at. I'm in the locker room with the guys after the game, and I spoke to Barry Church, and I was like, Barry, I looked right at him. I go, I know that you didn't have like an illegal hit on Rob Gronkowski. I know you didn't do that. And Barry looked at me and he goes, thank you. And I said, Barry, I know you're not a dirty player. Like you've never been like that. And he looked at me and he goes, it's Rob Gronkowski. How hard am I supposed to hit him? And so like I would love to just get your thoughts because being in Foxborough, Gillette Stadium, I know all my memories of that. They're clear as day, but just what it was like to be right there in that moment with the Jaguars.
Gosh, that was a crazy game. I mean, we were up by a lot. Mercedes Lewis catches that touchdown, which was huge, and I thought Blake was playing absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And then, for me, the thing that kind of sticks out that I felt like, the fumble that was a fumble or not a fumble, or obviously wasn't, it wasn't a fumble, but I think that was kind of some momentum change on that one there. And I think that kind of was like, oh goodness. And the crowd really started getting into it. And I remember Tom Brady converted a couple long third downs. And it was just one of those things. That's how the game goes. You can start out hot and like we did, and then we had a couple stalls. They had a couple really good successes, and it just unfortunately didn't go our way. And we still had a 2-minute drive at the end to be able to have an opportunity. And we had D.D. Westbrook going down the middle, and but I mean, I'll tell you, our offense did some really good things that game, that whole year. Funny enough, but it's just that's how the game goes. It's up and down, and you're going to get some calls. You're not going to get other calls, and you got to, just like we said, adversity is going to always show up, and it's who could persevere through that. And unfortunately, it came down in the last second, and we just couldn't put the game away. But it was, I thought we had a great plan. I thought the guys really did a nice job executing it, and we just need. I remember going into that game, we talked about we needed to score like over 24 points. I think we ended at 21. I think, or right at 24. It was right around there, and it was just funny because we had done all these analytics and calculated exactly how much, and we were trying so hard to hit that number, and we're like, God, if the number was correct, we would have had that. But I had an opportunity to go against Tom Brady a bunch of times, being at Buffalo and being at Jacksonville, and I mean, he was unbelievable in the clutch. I remember the first game I ever called as an offensive coordinator in the NFL was versus the New England Patriots, and we were up, and then Tom Brady comes down on another 2-minute drive and wins the game at the last second. That was the first game I ever was a part of as an offensive coordinator, and so there's a reason why he's one of the greatest to ever play, also, if not the greatest.
Did you ever, in those moments, going up against Tom Brady, no matter what you schemed offensively and everything that worked, did you ever have a moment with the clipboard or the tablet where you just wanted to go over to the side and just swear and be like, what else can we do? We have put the points on, we have done what we needed to do offensively, we have held on to this ball, we've run it right, we've thrown it right, we've protected our quarterback. I mean, did you ever get to a point where you kind of just looked to the other sideline at Tom Brady and said like, all right, dude, like be easy. Just just be a little bit more respectful, because I mean, there's games that you might be on the losing side of things where you as an offensive coordinator maybe did almost everything that you needed to do.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when we played them in 2018. I think we played them in week 2 or 3. I think it was week 3. I remember that was the year after the championship game. I just remember we had decided, we're like, listen, there's no such thing as 4-minute versus Tom Brady. We just got to just continually just keep pushing it, because the guy is gonna find a way, and so we just kept the gas pedal down, and we ended up beating them that game. But it's just one of those things. Like we had said earlier in this conversation, there's certain things that you just can't control, and you just have to control every single thing that you can, as much as you possibly can. And Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. That's why we all love this game so much. That's why the NFL is so amazing. I think it's funny when, my sons always ask me, who do you think's going to win this game? Or they'll be like, oh, this team for sure is going to win. They're way better. And as a coach, when you watch it, everybody in the NFL is so good. I mean, it's so even. There's only a couple plays here and there that separate every game, and you have to hope those fall in your favor, and you have to do everything you can to make it so that those things fall in your favor. But it's every game is so close, and every team is so close. I don't care if you haven't won a game or if you've won every game. I mean, it's that's the beauty of this whole thing. You just control what you can control.
Well, like you said, control those controllables, and something I always hear Scott Schaefer say, and somebody that you know and that I know obviously well as well. You have been,
One of the best guys ever, all
yeah,
timer.
yeah, but and I will stand on that mountain. I tell people all the time in Syracuse, I'm like, I still to this day, I said, man, they really fumbled Scott Schaefer here in Syracuse. They really messed up the way that they treated my guy, and I absolutely I will not forget the first win when he was coming. I was coming out of stadium control, and he was coming down the hill, and he saw me. He's got a suit on, he's got his briefcase, and he looks right at me. He grabs me, he gives me a huge hug. He goes, "Danny, we did it!" And then he just gives me like the biggest hug in the world. And the last day, also right in the same area, stadium control. He walks out, Missy's there, and the car's there ready for him to go, and he came out, and he was just standing with some people in the media, and he came and talked to who he wanted to talk to. And I remember I gave him a hug, and I went to say it, and he said it before I could say it. He said it right in my ear. He said, "I love you, Danny." And I
Mm.
said, "I love you too, coach." And then I hugged him again right before he got in the car, and I walked away that day like emotional. And I still go back to that day. And it's no disrespect to any coach that was at Syracuse, will be at Syracuse, is at Syracuse. But Scott, to me, even though he didn't play at Syracuse, he didn't go to Syracuse, I feel like he would have lived on that hill, died on that hill, and he would have been there forever. And so if we could just take a moment to throw Scott Schaefer some love, I'd love to get your thoughts on a
Mm.
man that you know whose daughter Elsa just had a beautiful wedding that you got to be a part of. I'd love to just have a Scott Schaefer moment shamelessly because you and I respect the heck out of him.
I mean, what an amazing human being. I mean, it's funny. You go through this game, and you sometimes you got to ask yourself, why do you do this? Well, for how crazy it is, and all the things, and the ups and downs, the lows, the highs, all that kind of stuff. And um, you know, Scott Schaefer, he coaches this game for the players. He coaches it because he truly loves every second and every ounce of this game. And it starts with the people. With him is his care, his love, his appreciation for every player he's recruited. I mean, he's one of those guys that when he goes in there and he tells you, you come, you come be with me, and I'm gonna love you forever.
Yeah.
I mean, he truly treats his players like they're his son. And I know Wolf, and Wolf will attest to it. I mean, I think that just watching his passion, his love for the players and for the game, and watching that all come together. I mean, you truly, when he makes a call, when he's fired up, when he's loving you up, I mean, it's real. And I think that's, like I'd said beforehand, you got to be yourself. And he's one of those people that taught me that. Shafe is who he is, and his passion for this game. I mean, you just feel it. It permeates his aura, everything. I mean, it's a thing of beauty, and whether it's a win or a loss, I mean, he don't change, and that's something that I appreciate so much from him. And those 3 years at Syracuse that I had with him were just unbelievable. I learned so much from him, and he developed me into the coach I am today, just by being there for me and helping me, because I was just a first time coordinator, heck, first time coach. I was doing so much during then. I think I was coaching quarterbacks, tight ends, but I mean, just his support and his caring for me and my family was unbelievable. And that's just the type of person he is.
Yeah. Well, Shafe, you definitely deserve the love, appreciation, and respect because he is one of the people that reminded me that there are good, honest, true people in this
Mm,
world, without doubt, that are consistent and not just sometimes. He was not a person that was nice to you to gain something, that was looking for an angle. It was literally, if you're a good person, and he can, like, if he always saw who people are, and he still does. And when he sees who you are, if you're a good person, he's got you. And I'll never
hmm.
forget, like, I interviewed him one time when he was the D coordinator. And then when he got named the head coach, I went down to congratulate him. He saw me, and there's like a sea of people, and he sees me. He grabs me, he gives me a huge hug, and he said, "Thank you so much for being here." And I was just, and I had no idea. And I had like heard outside that like he appreciated who I am and what I stand for. And I was like, I only talked to the guy for like 10 minutes. But there was just something, like, he knew who I was, I knew who he was, and to this day, it's it's never changed. And he sent me a text message recently, and he said, "Proud of you, Danny." And when those words come from Scott Schaefer, they mean something. But
No doubt.
I would also say that, and I'm not saying this because we're picture in picture and I'm talking to you right now, another person who I respect tremendously is Nate Hackett. And if anybody says anything positive, I'm banging the drum. If anybody says anything negative, they say true friends are the ones that stand up for you in rooms you're not in. You should know how many people I was happy to argue with if they didn't like a Jets call, if they didn't like this with the Broncos, they didn't understand this on Monday night. I said, I love Nate Hackett. I'm going to love Nate Hackett every day. And if I die on the hill with Nate Hackett, then I die on the hill with Nate Hackett. So to
Hell
say
yeah.
to say to you, you have always been true to me. You have always kept your relationship with me. You answer your phone, you text me back. We have had heart to heart conversations. We've had conversations on the show. So, as much as we talk about Scott Schaefer being real, you have been one of the realest, most genuine, consistent people that I know. Success has never gotten to you, ego has never taken you over, and you have always valued our friendship. And you are one of the people in my profession and in my personal life that I thank God for every day, because when you need a reminder that people know who you are, they value who you are, and they will take time for you, you're one of those people that reminds me, wherever I'm at in my life, whatever's going on, like, you always make me feel like I truly matter. And I just want to say thank you for that.
I appreciate that, man. Hey, got to be who we are. Be who you are because that's all that matters.
So, one of the best ones that I know. We're going to play some rapid fire before I let you go, because I know you got to get on a flight. But you get to start rapid fire. What do you want to ask me? Any topic, any question.
Oh gosh. Oh, might as well just keep going. Favorite Star Wars character?
The one that got me into it, because I got in late, is my Roland soccer ball. And he's actually over my shoulder. He's back here holding my We the North flag.
BB-8,
BB,
BB-8, baby.
yeah,
Okay,
BB-8.
Favorite Marvel character.
Spider-Man, without doubt, since I was a little kid. Also very close to him, Venom.
That way. Okay, well, I guess they go hand in hand.
They do. They do.
Um, how about do you have a favorite quarterback that you've ever talked to?
Man, favorite quarterback I've ever interviewed.
Just interview. Doesn't have to be the best player or anything like that, but the best interview
Best
with a
interview.
quarterback.
Oh, best interview with a quarterback. I would have to say, this is so tough. I would have to go with, man. I like talking with Trevor Lawrence, but I would say I did a thing that this quarterback didn't know about until I was done. And it involved his mom, his dad, his brother, and his sister. And it was before his dad passed. And I called it Project Dungy. And then after I did my two-part series, he got to do the third part and come on the show. So I would say doing that with Eric Dungy, someone who I felt deserved his flowers to the point where I wanted to like make a special totally dedicated to him. So I'll say Eric Dungy, but I'm sure that answer's got a lot of answers. But I'll say Dungy because of Project Dungy, and like that was really cool to do with his family.
Love it. Okay, how about your favorite vacation spot?
It used to be Disney, but Disney has lost its mind. So I would say I love Universal. Disney, get it together. I don't know what happened. You used to be a family God like value place. I don't know what happened, Disney, but you just I don't know. I guess being at the top of the mountain for a while, you thought you could do anything. But it's kind. I mean, at this point, I feel like Mickey's going to be standing at the top of the castle, shooting out dung from like some rocket launcher or something like that. I mean, they've definitely lost their mind, Nate. But I'm gonna
Well, I
say
get to go. I'm headed. We've got a dance competition coming up, so I get to
okay.
go and I get to check it out and find out about it. I haven't been there in a while.
Well, if you go to Universal and Disney in the same trip, you're going to like Universal more, which it used to be the other way around. But I do
Mm.
love Disney for what it used to be. But I would say, yeah, I mean, I love going to Florida. It's a second home. But I'm going to say the place I finally got to go with my dad, which was a promise for 11 years, which is Italy. Yeah,
Heck yeah,
it's Italy. You got
I
two more,
love it.
and then I'm going to fling them. I'm going to send some at you really quick. So you got two more for me.
Favorite music artist,
Right now?
whatever you want.
Man, Boys to Men and Journey are my oldies but goodies. Also, someone that I would love to sit in a studio with because I don't even know if you know this, but I've been singing since I was 3 years old and I've written over
Mm.
40 songs. Phil Collins. I always wanted to do
Oh,
something
that's
with
a
him.
legend right there.
Yeah.
That is a legend. All right, one more movie question.
Hmm.
My dad will appreciate this one. Favorite James Bond movie?
Man, I got one that's kind of sitting with me right now. Tomorrow Never Dies. But I don't know. I like
Pierce
Daniel.
Brosnan.
I like Pierce Brosnan, so I think I'd have to pick Pierce. I will say that my impression of Bane is just Sean Connery with a muzzle. So if you want to if you want to do Bane from Batman, you just
Oh,
have to
that's
talk
great.
a little bit like this. It's Sean Connery with a muzzle. That's all it is. So
That's fun. Right when you said that, that hit me good. I totally could see that.
yeah. So okay, I'm gonna throw some at you really quick. Okay, favorite song of all time.
What goes around comes around, Justin Timberlake.
Okay, I like that, and I can agree with it. Favorite movie of all time.
Rogue One.
Why?
It was absolutely amazing. It's kind of like the Andor series, which I absolutely loved because it was kind of a, like preface of that.
Okay.
But Rogue One, I thought was done the best. And just, I mean, think about it. When we were kids, we always wanted to know how they got the Death Star plans. We had always heard that. I've always wondered it.
I love it. Okay. Favorite Star Wars villain.
I want to say Darth Vader because it's just so easy. But I think Bubba Fett, maybe,
Okay. All
if I
right.
had to throw it there, he had a lot of intrigue to him.
Okay. Boba Fett. If you had to switch lives with a Star Wars character for 24 hours, who would you be and why?
Han Solo, because he just lived a wild life.
I love that quote. That made my day. If Nate Hackett walked around for the rest of his life with a neon sign above him that flashed one sentence, what would it say?
Gosh, there's so many things that just flashed in my head at one point, good and bad. Um, I love gold.
From Goldmember? I love it. Okay. You and I think, are the same person, just born at different times. So my final two questions for you: if you and I became Avengers, to this is a three-part question. If you and I became Avengers
Mm,
today, so what Avenger would you be? What Avenger would you have me be? And what villain would we fight in what city? So it's a four-part
holy
question.
cow, that was really intense. Um, well, I would say, uh, I mean, you just told me your favorite, so I would want you to be Spider-Man because I want you to be passionate about your superpowers.
Okay.
And I love your little comic relief. You know, you throw in the goodness there, and you're a good person, and so is Spider-Man. For me, I'm Ant-Man. I love Ant-Man. Ant-Man's my favorite Marvel character,
Love
and
it.
so the two of us would go hand in hand because we're the insects. So because we got spiders and we got ants. So we would have to fight some kind of an insect villain, which I'm trying to think of what's a good insect villain. Um, uh, forget that. We're
Jeff,
going after Thanos. We're
we
going
go.
after Thanos.
Okay.
We're going after the big. We're going for the biggest guy. Let's just go after him.
Okay.
Let's go after the scariest, biggest one.
What city?
Uh, what city? Well, we're both in New York, so let's go to New York. That's where they all take place, anyways. And there's lots of, yeah. If you're Spider-Man, you need a lot of buildings to be able to spin, and fly around and stuff like that.
That's very true. And when you said we're insects, so we had to fight an insect thing, I thought we could fight Jeff Goldblum from The Fly. So
That would be good too.
my final question for you: if you were in the newest Jurassic Park movie, not the one that's out right now, if they were to make a new Jurassic Park movie and we were to go to the actual park, what dinosaur would you want to train and tame that is a carnivore, and why?
So there's a chance I can actually tame it.
Yes.
Well, I'm going with the T-Rex then. I mean, you might as well go with the biggest and baddest one. Uh, it's pretty cool to train the raptors and stuff because they're so nimble. But I mean, nothing can take down a T-Rex. I mean, you've seen that in all the movies. I mean, over time, the T-Rex has always been there, and the T-Rex always wins.
So the T Rex, I would say that I would want to see Chris Pratt in an end of credit scene, and I pull up on a Velociraptor riding on it, and I look at Chris and I go, "Oh, you talk to them? That's cute." And then I'm like, "Come on, girl," and then we take off. That's what I want it to be in my end credit scene.
That would be good. That would be good. You and Blue running all over the place.
That's right. And I actually, Lily, my dog, has a blue stuffed animal, and I call her Blue sometimes because, as sweet as she is to me, I feel like she would definitely be extremely protective when I need her. So, with that
That's
being said,
fantastic.
Nate Hackett, longtime football coach in the college and pro world. We spoke on a bunch of different things today, and at the same time, it felt like 5 minutes and felt like we barely scratched the surface. So, Nate, you will
So
be
true.
back on soon. Travel safe with your family. You know I love you, and I appreciate our conversations on and off the air. You're a great friend, and I wish there was more people like you.
Appreciate you, man. Love you, and we gotta do this again.
Yep.
Appreciate you.
We definitely will. We got some raptors to tame. So,
Hell yeah,
so
hell yeah. We can start talking about a lot of good stuff when we get to the movies. I love it.
yeah, and you know what? You knew every single thing. I didn't even have to guide you anywhere, and that's why I feel like you and I have the same brain. So
No doubt, no
I'll
doubt.
I'll talk to you soon, my friend. Take care.
All right, bye.
See you. That comment from Nate Hackett one more time here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. Always having some fun here on Wake Up Call, and we can pretty much let you know you're going to have a broadcast here, conversations here, and interviews here that you're not going to have anywhere else. So appreciate so very much what Nate has done for the game, but more than anything else, what he has done in my life as a friend. We'll take a step aside from the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. When we come back, we'll wrap up today's show and this week. Can't believe the week's already over, but God is great, and we have plenty to be proud for and happy with. We'll be back right after this.
Here's a message from Renee from Brian's Landing, located on.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvelange, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks comes to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, right off of Teal Ave. You can head over there Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 to 5 to enjoy some time at GG Cards and Breaks where you get to be a big kid. That's right, folks. You're never too old to be around the teams that you love and the players that you love and the games that you love to play and the characters that you love. Be immersed in that world by simply going to GG Cards and Breaks for singles, packs, boxes, and more. You can find so many awesome things at GG Cards and Breaks, and you can head there today. Make sure that you let them know that DT sent you. All ages welcome, and if you've never collected cards before, now's a great time to start. And if you've been collecting your whole life, well, your next great piece of your collection is waiting for you right there on site at GG Cards and Breaks, because you never know what you're going to find, and there's a lot of wonderful things. So I can't thank GG Cards and Breaks enough for being an amazing place for us to just fan the flame of our kids' spirit and have a wonderful time. I appreciate you all so very much for going out to GG Cards and Breaks, and I thank you for all the work. I thank them for all the work that they do, and I thank you for all the love and positivity that you show them. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, happy to be here with you inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios, and of course inside of MonPawsPopcorn.com's What's Poppin'. Big time shout out to Carvel DeWitt for the annoying moment of the week, Chick-fil-A Cicero for lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. Our top dog of the week honoring Josh Gideon of GG Cards and Breaks in K-9 Camp Dog Daycare's top dog of the week, and of course a wonderful conversation with one of my friends that I love so very much, and that being Mr. Nate Hackett. Shout out to him and his family. Wake Up Call is here with you Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. So however you're connected with the show, thank you for tuning in up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe. Once the show goes live, we hop into the archives, and you can see us on Amazon, or you can listen to us, I should say, on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you got to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. So make sure you do that today, and I thank you for everyone who has connected with us through all of these channels. You can search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on any one of them, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. And of course, Alexa and your Google Home device will play the latest episode of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora if you ask them to, nicely. They'll be happy to do that as well. Many thanks to our North Carolinian listeners and visitors. Brooklyn Pickle down there in North Carolina. See him in Southern Pines on 1788 Old Morganton Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. The Brooklyn Pickle there for you, right down the road from Pinehurst Golf Course, which the PGA Tour knows all too well. And many thanks to our team of partners in Central and Upstate New York. Please go out and visit Great Lakes Honda City, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, K-9 Camp Dog Daycare, Mother's Cupboard, Brian's Landing, K-9 Kampground Dog Boarding, Pizza Man, Chick-fil-A Cicero, Mon Paz, the snack capital of the world, GG Cards and Breaks, Avicoli's, and we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins, Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse, and the Binghamton University Bearcats. You can get connected to all of these wonderful teams by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our Lemoyne playlist, our BSC Syracuse playlist, and our Binghamton playlist. Each of these wonderful teams and schools are up on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to LeMoyneDolphins.com, as well as Syracuse.bscbobcats.com and BinghamtonBearcats.com. You'll find the Dolphins every Wednesday during Dolphin Time, Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time here on Wake Up Call, and you'll find Binghamton every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and you'll find all of our wonderful schools by going to wakeupcalldt.com, as I said, as well as by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, clicking subscribe, and hitting the notification bell. Thank you for all of your love and support. We appreciate all of these wonderful companies, and we appreciate you for going and visiting them all throughout the week. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call, inside of the Great Lakes Honda City studios, I can't say it enough, Great Lakes Honda City, the former Honda City of Liverpool, has been giving me my vehicles for over a decade. I have made the choice to put my money where my mouth is, which is what we do here on the show, and going to Great Lakes Honda City. Head there today and make sure that the next ride you bring home, new and used, is from Great Lakes Honda City. You can get a sneak peek by going to GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Facebook at WakeUpCallDT, X at CallDT, Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT. For now, from the Great Lakes Honda City studios, for Nate Hackett and for all of our wonderful guests this week, I say God bless, no stress, do your best. We'll talk soon. Take care. Stay safe.